Hey, this is Srinivas Tamada, founder of nilesson.info. In this video, I'm going to explain the Angular event emitters and input and output. If you look at my latest article, you will understand more, but the same thing I'm going to make it in the video as well. The same project, you can make it with Angular CLI as well, but I choose Ionic for the better user experience. So let's start the project. You just open the terminal and make sure you have the Ionic latest version. It's called 5.0, and I think it new thing came up. It's 5 plus is fine, and check the node. It should be, I think, the latest version. So let me go to the my project and let's begin the project. I'm just going to start Ionic start like project name. I'm just giving like Angular Emmet and just choose tabs by default. And now Angular Ionic is asking like what kind of framework you want. If you want, you can choose React as well. But this video is about Angular, so I'm Angular event emitters, so I'm choosing the Angular. And this will take a couple of minutes to download all the dependencies for the Ionic. Yeah, this project, we're going to achieve this kind of demo. Basically, like it has a user information with a profile, and then you can edit with the new name and the new description. And you can save it. You'll see the things here. And if you edit, if you cancel it, it will not change anything. And if you want to change back to the new BSC and save it back to this one. So this is how, like if you're working with the child and the parent components, so how you can distribute the data between these components and the actions. You can use the common methods to call from the child components. That's what we're going to achieve with this project. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, this got updated. Now let's clear and let's go to the project directory, and now you can just give Ionic serve, and you can open if you want and then give code for the opening the visual code. Now if you look at the Ionic structure, you will see the basic Angular structure, but with the Ionic theme, uh, you'll get all the SAS from there. But if you look at, there are a few different structural changes for the Ionic, and it has Ionic config.json. So there are a few things only. You can change it if you want. If you compare the basic Angular CLI, you'll not see big changes here. So yeah, let's see, it by default it comes with the tabs with a mobile view, and you will see the 3 different tabs. So we're going to play with tab 1. Consider this is our parent component. So here we are going to load the child components. So let's go to the code, and for now, so the tab 1 is our parent component. So but all child components, I'm going to create a new folder called components, or if you want, you can give shared components as well. Open the terminal. So all the ng commands will work. So let's ng generate. I think you have to create a module first for the components, so that you can use this module anywhere if you want. So if you look at this, now there is a module it will create. Make sure it give the proper name, same name it will create. So under that, we're going to create the child components. Now you can use the short names as well, ng G for generate and C for component. And I'm going to the components folder, and then I'm going to give user profile is one component. We're going to show here the user information. So it creates a user profile here. In the same way, I'm going to create like edit profile. And that is what, when I click the edit button, you will see this component. So yeah, now we created 2 child components, and the 2 components we're going to connect with the parent component. So let's go to this module. By default, basically, if you work with Angular CLI, these components automatically linked up with this module, but some reason Ionic configuration is a little bit different. It's not adding automatically, but you can directly import. Yeah, so by default it will come, and if you look at it, by basically it imported automatically, and user profile component as well. So let's save it. It will be in proper order. Then you have to export these things again. So you can copy these things. And the same way you can create a number of child components here. Everything you can connect this here. So now this is our component. So this module you can just directly import into this module so that you can access all of them. You can just include it and you can directly import it from the components. Now looks good, but we need to, because in this profile and the edit profile we're going to use some form kind of inputs, all the stuff. So we need, like, we're going to use Ionic components as well. So basically you have to import the Ionic module. So this import ion input, ion text, all the modules, it will be here. I mean components. In the same way we need a forms module to bind anything with the inputs. So now this thing is ready. So let's see, we imported here. Now go to the HTML. You can directly you can just add it here. Like you'll find the tag names here. Like if you see, this is the tag name. So this tag name you can directly import it here. And the same way, I'm just going to import the app edit profile, and I'm just saving it now. So if you refresh this, you will get these two, and by default we have this. So this is what we have, so we don't want this anymore. If you want, you can just drop this, and yeah, we dropped off that. So we have two components is working right now, which means it's got connected with the parent one. Now we need to feed these two components with information. Like this, we need to send the user information with the edit button, and this, like, whatever, it has all the forms, so whatever user inputs, we need to take it and put it here. So now let's go to this tabs.page.ts. So now go to the parent, and this parent is only making the call to get the profile information basically. But right now we're not making any API call, but we're just assuming, like, to get some information, like implements, we need an ng on it. So import it from the Ionic Angular core and ng on in it. So this makes the by default call. So I'm just going to make like get user profile data. So this basically makes the API call to get the user information. But right now I'm not making any call because I already explained the API endpoints. But right now I'm just fixing up with value. So I'm just creating a public variable called user profile data. And then we need it for name and about, like, some information about the person. So here I'm just consuming that, like, the information actually coming from the backend, but right now I'm fixing it directly. So user profile data dot name. So I'm fixing it my name, like, and the bio. So profile data dot about. Yeah. So now we feed this with actual values. So this information you can directly send it to the user profile to consume. So I'm just giving user profile data. So I'm just setting up here. Let's consider user profile because it may confuse the same name. So I think it's a spell mistake. So this user profile is the input to read this information here. So let's go to this user profile component and let's use input tag to read that attribute. So, and we don't know right now if we get an object, so I'm giving it as an any. You just import this from the code. Yes, now you can use this information to print something. For example, if I want to print something here like just user profile dot name. Yep, nothing got. So I think we made a mistake. So I think we didn't make any call in this tabs start page. I think we need to make this call and then on it. So now we are making this call to set this information. So that information is present here. So that information we are passing it here, and then you can, the data is available in the child component. Now if you look at my name is coming here. So go to the components and use the design to get some better things. So I'm going to use the card information. So let's copy this from out the code and I'm just replacing with this. So basically like your profile and input HTML is the user can insert any kind of HTML. It avoid all the HTMLs in this. So I'm just setting up here the name and the above, and using an button I just created it. If you want, I'm just cutting off this and see. Let's see how that looks like. The same information I'm just setting up here. So the same way you can go to the iron button and add a small edit button as well here. So the size, if you're not setting up small, it's going to be large. There are so many options here to get the better ones, clear outline and solid, all the stuff. So now if you look at it, like, so we got this information. Like if you modify anything here, like the information, maybe see, let's see, the same information is going to update it here as well. Yep, see if you look at that. So just a design thing we added. Now our new challenge is like whenever user hits the edit button, we need to show this thing. So now we're going to write one kind of small condition. Based on the edit click, we are going to toggle these two components. Later we'll work on the design for this. Right now whenever I hit this, we need to show this thing. By default it should be hidden more. Let's go to the again parent, because always we are playing with parent but feeding the method information there. So I'm just going to create a small status called edit profile status. So by default it is a false. So this one, like, go to here, like, you know, star ngif. If it is not equal to edit profile, I mean the status is true, we are showing this. If you look at this, if it is by default false, we're just showing this. If you remove it, like, it became true. I mean, yeah, we're going to hide it. So for now it is not, edit status is not, and then there is going to give else statement with ng template. I'm going to like add some reference for this. So edit profile block, I can say. So this edit profile block, it comes in the ng template. So if you look at this, and this is ng template, so this is like a if else condition in the Angular. So that reference I'm going to add here. This is called block. Now if you look at this, so this condition is true here, so we are going to show this now. Yep, so we are hiding this. If you make that by default it is true, it will be reverse. So you will see the by default one as an edit profile instead of that. So this is false, and now I'm going to write a small method called edit profile and toggle. So this basically toggles this value. Whenever you hit this, that will change the value. So I'm just giving not equal to the same value again. So if it's true, it's going to change it to the false. But now we need to actually connect that edit toggle method with this edit button, but the edit button is actually inside the child component, but we need to connect with the parent method. So before that, we need to write a output. So how are we going to write an output? So basically I'm going to give edit profile toggle. I just give it as edit profile. So this basically calls the edit profile toggle method, so which is there in this parent component, the same thing. So now this is the reference for us to make an action to this. So now this going to the child component, this is going to be as the output. And then that's edit profile is a reference key, and it is actually an event emitter. So now this is the action. So I mean, using this you can emit that parent method. So I'm going to write an action here, edit profile action, and this basically hits the edit profile. This is the edit profile and dot emit. So this is basically what happens is whenever you call this, it goes to the edit profile and emit. That comes here to this HTML. This edit profile connects with this, and it triggers this one. So now let's go to the HTML, and this is our action. So this is a component edit profile action to trigger. So here I'm just giving a click action. Yeah, now this is when you hit this is automatically linked with emit and goes back to here to change the value. Let's see what is going to happen. I think it is showing some error. I think it's a syntax error. It's not that. This is not the input. Output should be like this. Input should be in this square brackets. And there it goes. Now look at that, the thing, how it works. And now if I click on the edit, it goes back. So let me refresh it again. When I click this, it is changing the status value, the parent, so it is automatically flipping to this. Now let's go to this edit profile thing, and now we need to write the same action here for the cancel button. Let me create a cancel button here. Let's take this, and so let me create a cancel button here. The same thing I copied, but right now I'm not giving any click action. Let's give it cancel. And if you want, you can give a color like danger. Let's see how that looks like. So I just added a small cancel button. When you click on the cancel, we need to go back to the previous state. So later I'll give you the form, everything with Ionic input things. So let's connect with this, the same thing, and I'm doing it the same method I'm going to follow here as well. So the same edit profile action is going to connect here. The same thing, edit profile. It's an output. Go here and call that output like so. Output. Same thing. I don't know, some reason it's not pulling out from the core. So, but here I'm going to write cancel action, but we are calling the same edit profile thing. Emit. So this cancel action we are actually connecting with this HTML. So, click. So now if you look at that, we're just based on the clicks, both child components are connected. Both the child component buttons are connected with that edit profile toggle, so that it's actually blocks flipping between with the state. So this is how the output works. But now let's add some more input values to update this existing information as well. Now let's work on the edit profile form. So using that you can edit the actual uh, base profile information, or if anybody clicks cancel, you're just not doing anything. But if you click save, you're going to update the information in the parent as well. So let's start adding the inputs. You'll find all the form elements here. If you see the components, you'll see all the inputs. I'm adding the same card. If you look at that, the same card with the subtitle, and added the label and the input and the text area for the about, and there is a cancel button and the save button. So the same cancel I'm going to replace with this new action. I'm deleting off the by default one. Let's see. If you save it, if you will see the actual design. So when you click on that, you'll see that information, but I just connected with cancel. Basically when you hit the save, we need to update that. So before that, so now get these values for the name and the about. When you click on the save button, we need to get that information. So let's go to this edit profile. I'm going to create a new public one, like call new profile user data. So this is going to be the same model again, like name and the about. So we need to connect this the object with the bind the information with this inputs. So now it's going to be, so get these values with the ng model. So now I'm connecting that, like new profile user data and the name. Whenever user types, the value stores here. The same way I need to get the text value as well. Same thing, it's like about. So now let's see, this is the save button. Whenever I hit the save button, let me give some click action to see update user profile. So let's take this. I'm going to create a method here. So now you can print that console log. So here you'll see the actual user inputs. So if you print this, you'll see the latest information. When you click edit, and if you give some information, new name and the new data, some new about DRC, and if you click save, you will see that the console log. So this information we are pushing to the main component and we are changing the value. So let's give here like update profile data. I just give it update profile, and with that here you will get the new data. And now, so whenever the new data comes with a new set of objects, so you have to set this information like set profile data dot name equal to the new data dot name. The data dot name comes from the edit profile, the same way for the object as well. Now let's go here. If you want, you can add a small condition check here, like if this dot new profile data dot name, at least some value should be there, or else people may enter the empty values. So here we're going to update that action. Now let's connect this method with some of the output methods. So going to this edit profile, I'm going to give new thing called user profile data, and then it's going to trigger this method with the event. So this is our reference file to go to the edit profile, the same thing. a little bit of change because we are passing some information here. The same thing, new emitter, but here you're going to set the any because you can send the information here. So now this is our reference to get the parent method. So this is data.emit and pass the new information. The new information is this. This object has the new data, new name and the about. So this goes going to hit this with the value. So that value going to get it from the data and it updates this. And again, this one actually sending to this one and it actually prints here. And when you refresh this and let me edit and new name and new about, let's save. So we didn't write the action to close this basically, but if you see it happened where we need to modify the parent method. Once it got saved, you need to trigger this toggle so that it go into the previous state. So this edit profile basically saving and closing that. So now if you click on edit and give hello DSC and save, basically when you click on save we are toggling as well, so that way it is actually going to the previous state. When you click on edit, if you cancel something, it will not do anything. If you click save, because we added a condition to add some name, so it has to take the name. So like my name. If you're not giving about, like you will still go with the name. Yeah, that is how you can achieve. And if you look at this article, you will see some more information like to how to set the focus button for the inputs. Uh, that you will see more information here with the view child. If you look at the actual demo and emit.nihilation.info, and if you click on edit, you will see the by default focus here that you will see here. That is a small kind of view child, and you need to add a reference for that input called profile name. So that profile name, using little set timeout, you can set focus. That way you will see the better user experience. And that's it for the event emitters. This way, if you are writing for multiple web components or child components, you can connect with the parent component to solve big problems. That's it. Thanks for watching this video.